What's going on, Summoners? It's Kangas, and today I'll be walking you through this week's weekly news update. There's a few great things that have been recently announced, including a new hotfix for the new champ. Whether it's the new Coven skins, item changes, crazy reworks, or even the smallest of changes overall, we here at ProGuides got you covered. So make sure you hit that sub button, and let's get into it. Starting us off, let's take a look at the brand new skins that have been introduced to the PvE. If you're a big fan of the Coven skin line, then no worries, Riot has made sure to release quite a few skins within this line within the next patch. Whether you're looking for a new addition to Ahri, Ashe, Cassiopeia, or Evelynn, they got Coven skins coming. Oh, and also Evelynn's skin is going to be a legendary. It'll cost 1820 RP and will feature all new animations, voice lines, effects, and more. Alongside these, LeBlanc's old Coven skin line is also receiving a Prestige Edition variant, so if you're a LeBlanc fan, make sure to save up your points so you can get this rare and amazing looking skin. But besides the Coven skins, Riot has also decided to release Old God Malphite and Warwick on the PvE. While these skins are still part of the Coven universe, they were name changed to Old God due to the community complaints about the lore. Riot eventually listened and decided to make their fans proud by renaming these two skins. Alongside these skins, Riot will be giving each of them multiple chromas for you to choose from. This will allow you to customize them to fit your personality as you see fit. Plus, if you already own some of the old Coven skins, they'll be getting a new limited edition green chroma added. As with all the new skin lines, there will be tons of new icons for the Coven event too. You can choose to show off the event with a cool new icon, or you can opt for a champion-specific one. You'll be able to choose your favorite new Coven skin and have a matching icon that also has a specific edition variant if you wish. Plus, there's also 3 cool new emotes for you to get if you really want to spice up your gameplay and tilt the enemy. But before we dive further into the PvE changes, I want to remind you to check out ProGuides.com if you got the time. We got a great catalog of coaches that can personally create a walkthrough for you to your dream rank. Oh, and while you're there, explore around, take a look at some of our subscription services so you can get exclusive videos by Core JJ, Xmithy, and Aframu, all kinds of pros. But with that said, let's get back into the video and take a look at some of the new changes that Riot has decided to announce. Starting us off, let's take a look at the new social leaderboard feature that is being added. In order to further test this possible new feature, Ranked will be enabled on the PvE in order to try it out. The idea behind the social leaderboard is to have your friends organized by rank in a neat yet easy to read way. Plus, this can further increase competition between you and anybody that you have on your friends list. Personally, I'm really excited about this one because I get to rub it in Nate's face and I'm higher elo than him, but that's beside the point. Next up, let's take a look at some of the balance changes on the PvE, as we got a lot to cover here. We'll start by covering the important possible changes, as they will be massive when it comes to the meta. First off, let's look at Diana and Jarvan. Diana is having her passive monster damage reduced from 300% to 250%. This is massive because she was already somewhat struggling in the jungle, and this could be enough to finally knock her out of the meta. With this in mind, Jarvan's changes plus Diana's nerfs should actually bring him back into relevance. His passive's current HP damage is increasing from 8% to 10%, but the biggest change is that his ultimate Cataclysm is having its bonus AD ratio increase from 150% to 180%. Lethality Jarvan might be coming back. While we're still in the jungle, Nunu is also having his movement speed bumped up by 5 and his ease AP ratio going from 54% to a whopping 90%. This means Nunu will be dealing quite a bit of extra damage from any extra AP that he gets. Finally, we have Sivir's W being changed so she can better fit the meta and have additional damage for wave clear and team fighting. The AD ratio at max level is changed from 70% to 90%, which will help her out quite a bit when she hits her 2-item power spike. Sona's changes are also on the PvE at the moment, but we won't be covering them in depth here since we've covered them a ton in the past few weeks, but check out those videos if you're curious. And as we continue onward through the video, we can't do a weekly news update if there's no talk about the new champion. AKSHAN has finally been released and was seen swinging through the live servers for about a week now. While his initial win rate has been nothing impressive, players are having a lot of fun with the champion and their kit. However, even after people got the hang of him, he still seemed fairly weak overall. So after giving him a bit more time, Riot decided to give him a hotfix that lowered his Q cooldown and gave him a bit more base AD. This helped his win rate a bit, but it still wasn't what Riot wanted. They needed him to climb to a decent win rate even if he was a fairly difficult champion, and the results were simply not showing. So finally, Riot decided to give him one final hotfix in order to help his wave clear so that he can be a better mid laner. AKSHAN has been seen in the mid lane as AD carry in the top lane, and a few daredevil solo queue players have actually given him a shot in the jungle too. Wherever you and your allies decide to play AKSHAN, it's been universally accepted that he's in a decent spot and is still extremely fun to play. It honestly makes us wonder how good the next champion is going to be, and if they'll have a cooler mechanic like AKSHAN's swing or his revive. But before we go on with the video, we got our question of the day. We want to know, what is a mechanic that you wish you could see on a new league champion? I've been saying this one for a while now. I would love it if there was a champion that literally just had wards in their kit. I'm a support main, and vision control is what supports want to do, so I think it'd be really cool if somebody had an ability that just drops a ward so I can actually take Sweeper to start lane with. But let me know your answer in the comments down below. Now, you know it wouldn't be a weekly news update without an esports highlight section. At the moment, a lot of attention is on the LEC, with people like G2 Mickey stating that the LEC seems to be fairly strong and balanced, which makes it a game of brains and wits rather than pure skill. With all these players playing at the highest level they can, it's a matter of who can execute their draft better. And speaking of LEC, with AKSHAN's release, he would technically be disabled for playoffs per usual LEC rules. That being said, however, he is going to be available at Worlds, which could bring some competitive advantages to the regions that have faced him prior. With this dilemma, Riot decided to ask all of the teams if they wanted to change and allow AKSHAN to be played during playoffs. However, it seems almost unanimous from all the teams that AKSHAN should continue to be disabled nonetheless. While it would have been cool to have seen such a new champion on the LEC stage, it's understandable that teams would prefer to not have to deal with him so quickly. Let's just hope this doesn't come back to bite the Europeans in the butt come Worlds time. Next up, let's take a look at the massive RUINATION event that's been going on. This huge storyline was Riot's attempt at creating an interactive mission system similar to the Spirit Blossom event. However, so far the RUINATION event has led to a ton of issues and has left players feeling fairly disappointed. Originally, Riot has planned for the story to gradually be released and have people gain rewards around the same time, but due to timing errors, it was just taking too long. The missions were extremely difficult and had people farming ARAMs and bot games just in order to continue on with the story and gain their rewards. So to remedy this, Riot decided to add a repeating mission and have a small update that made a few missions easier so you could quickly gather points. The issue now is that players feel like the story is just a breeze and you simply run through it. Overall, it's just adding an issue to the event, since players have felt that the RUINATION event's interactive missions feel more like a hassle than an experience. Players should enjoy revealing the secrets surrounding the story and actually want to work for it to move onward, not to be given the choice to either grind forever or just have the story given to you on a silver platter. Alongside these complaints, the community has continued their uproar as the story has been littered with bugs, and a few people have even recorded losing progress on their accounts. Also, if you've been keeping up with some of the Riot developers, you know that Vex was supposed to be released earlier than planned, which has led to some odd interactions with her within the story. Now, the RUINATION event and its interactive story aren't all bad though. Honestly, the cinematics being released at each patch are pretty cool, and the fact that we get multiple champions that intertwine within the universe is also nuts. Sure, the community as a whole doesn't seem to enjoy the event, but the event does offer a ton of fun things for everyone, and overall, the event's been pretty successful. As long as you're not counting those other hiccups anyway. Plus, we've gotten a ton of new skins with this event and have more to come. So let's just continue to hold out through the event and just see what Riot has in store. I mean, AKSHAN was a really cool champion, so I'm hoping the next champion, Vex, won't let us down. But before we wrap up with the patch highlights, I want to remind everybody to join our amazing community of people just like you that love talking lists, league news, and meta discussion. Of course, you can find those people in our community Discord through the link in the description down below. Come heckle me, come heckle Nate, anybody on the channel, just make sure that you're having fun with it. So to close out the video, I want to make sure that you're all informed for your next solo queue matches, so let's quickly do a brief patch rundown. If you've been keeping up with our updates, you'll know that the Sentinel skins are live for purchase, but taking a look at a few of the noteworthy changes, Caitlyn had her QAD ratio buffed by an extra 20% at max level, which means that she's going to be hitting quite a bit harder in the mid game. Alongside Caitlyn's newfound power, it seems Cassiopeia needed a bit of a boost, so she had her ease damage increased by 10 at every level. It seems small, but on a champion that spams this ability, this will add up quick. With Aurelia's mini rework proving a bit too successful, she had her W's damage ratio reduced as well as its damage reduction reduced. Next up, we have Syndra, who had her Q mana cost reduced early quite a bit. This is what stopped Syndra from running rampant as a powerful mid laner and bot laner, so it'll be interesting to see how this change holds up. Speaking of mid lane, Riot is not happy that Viego continues to be played as a powerful mid lane champ rather than a jungler. So they had his Q's base damage reduced overall, but gave it bonus damage to monsters. Oh, and his healing against minions was dropped from 50% to 10%, which will absolutely hurt his lane sustain. Finally, one of the only items that got a change in this patch was Hullbreaker. This item was doing okay after its release, but really lacked power. With this new change, both you and your minions will be feeling a hefty bonus with your defenses. This will overall help split pushers be far more relevant and allow them to take riskier fights on the side lanes as they decide to hunt alone. And that'll sum up our video for today. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to join the ProGuides family at ProGuides.com and through the Discord link in the description below. But most importantly, best of luck on the Rift, everybody. Stay hydrated, and I'll see you in the next one.